here we are back on Studio B and back for round 3 of Foundations of Crow Pose. And today's practice I'm calling fly high, fly low, because we're going to spend a lot of time on the forearms. And there's a few different reasons I like to do that. Primarily that arm balancing can be really strenuous on the wrists and the smaller bones and joints of the hands and the fingers. And so particularly for anyone that has arthritic tendencies or deals with carpal tunnel, or just that's a more fragile part of the body, period, it can be nice to do some of this balancing work on the forearms where we get to distribute the force of the pose over a broader area of the body. It also challenges us to work with strength and flexibility in different kinds of ways. So you'll see a lot of that repetition coming in, but with slight little tweaks as we go from high and low and some of the kind of ranges in between. So let's get started on all fours like we did last week. And start with a couple of rounds of really classic cat and cow, just getting into the body, into the spine, and just kind of feeling how things are going today, a little bit of a check-in. And then we're going to go ahead and straight away drop onto the forearms. So the next time you come into a neutral spine, lower one forearm and then both, and then resume your cat and cow with this slight diagonal orientation with the spine. And for me, the pose itself sort of feels different here. I'm really aware of that pelvis as it drops forward in my cow pose. And I'm also really able to feel the scapula move off the back in the cat. And then just like we did last week, we'll come to a neutral spine, slide your left knee a little bit towards the midline of your mat, and we'll extend our cat and cows by reaching the right leg up, arching the back like your cow, and then rounding the spine. Bring your right knee towards the back of your right tricep and round. Take that 3 more times. Inhale, that's like your cow. Exhale, right knee to right tricep, and that's like a cat. Twice more. Inhale. It also happens to be half of baby crow. Last time, inhale. And exhale. And then just set that right knee down on the mat, widen the left knee, and we're going to switch sides. So the right knee might come a little bit more to the midline for a sort of triangular base, and then reach the left leg up, arch the spine, that's your back bend. And then left knee comes towards that left tricep and round. 3 more. Inhale, pulling the heart forward and through. Exhale, round knee to tricep. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then left knee comes down, widen the right knee out, and take a moment to tuck all 10 toes, stay on the forearms, but hover the knees just enough to slide a piece of paper underneath. We'll just hold here for a moment. And then start to welcome in a cat's back as you push down through the forearms, round the spine, but keep looking down at your mat. And then imagine pulling your knees towards the back of your elbows. 2 breaths. 1 more big inhale. And then actually lift your tailbone up to the ceiling. Let your heels melt back and down, and you'll find yourself in dolphin pose, straightening the legs, very similar to downward facing dog, but on the forearms. And this is always a pose I like to have in my repertoire because, again, if I'm nurturing any sort of injury in the wrist or the hands, this is one I can always pull out in place of or in lieu of downward facing dog. Let's take 1 more breath in this dolphin, really pushing down through the forearms, broadening the upper back. And then lift the head and rise up onto your right palm and then your left palm, and walk the hands to the back of your mat for Uttanasana as we take some half salutations. So fingertips to shins, inhale, lift up long spine. Exhale, fold in Uttanasana. And then rising all the way up to mountain pose as you circle sweep the arms out and all the way up. Bringing the palms in together. We are going to add a twist element into this today, so just listening up. Inhale, circle sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive, fold over the legs. We'll take that crow chair from reeks 1 and 2. So plant the palms, bend the knees, bring the knees up behind the armpits or the back of the triceps. Inhale there. Exhale, lower the heels. Here's where you listen up. Take your left hand to the middle of the mat. Keep your right leg straight, but bend your left knee, and then twist the torso to the right and sweep the right arm up to the ceiling, revolving that Uttanasana. Inhale here. Exhale, unwind. And then circle sweep up, all the way up to mountain, and palms together. Second side, inhale out and up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Crow chair, knees to the armpits or backs of the arms. Exhale, heels down. Right hand to the middle of the mat, left leg stays straight. Right knee bends, twist to the left, left arm up. Inhale fully. Exhale, unravel. Come rising all the way up to mountain. And palms together. We'll do that once more each side. Now you know what you're doing, movement to breath. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, fold in, really drawing nose to shins. Plant those palms, find your crow chair, get that blueprint in the body. Lower the heels, left hand centers, left knee bends, turn to your right, right arm up. Inhale there. Exhale, release. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last time through this sequence, inhale out and up. Exhale, folding. Planting those palms, crow chair, feeling the weight come into the hands a bit. Lower the heels. Right hand to the middle of the mat, twist to your left as the right knee bends. Inhale, broaden the upper back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands together. We'll start to move into some sun salutation with some poses. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, folding over the legs. Walk the hands forward, downward facing dog. We're going to move our right thumb towards our left thumb, step the right foot forward into that lizard pose that we've been in every week of this series. Go ahead and let that left knee come down and untuck the left toes. You could always stay up on the palms, or in the spirit of this fly high, fly low, you can start to lower to the forearms today. And really wanting to squeeze that right knee in towards the right shoulder. And then today, really looking forward, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee. Push down through the forearms, round the spine. Actually let your pelvis lift a little bit. So you're feeling the pelvis lifts. There's a slight height here, even though you're grounding down through the forearms. Looking down at the mat, at that space in between the forearms. And then lower the left knee down, come up on right forearm, or right palm and left palm. We're going to come into Bakasana at the back of the mat. So I'm going to take my left shin and turn it in, and then I'm going to slide and cross my right knee over my left. And then there's a space between my shins that I'm going to walk back. You could sit on a block or just plop all the way back to your mat. So you have right thigh over your left. We'll take Bakasana arms. Sweep that left arm up, bend the elbow, hand between the shoulder blades. I'm just turning around so you can see my arms. Right arm is going to come out, internally rotate, sweep down, and walk up. And it doesn't have to touch. If the hands are far apart, just make fists, push them into the back. For some of you, fingertips might interlace here. Okay, so finding our Bakasana. And we'll fold forward 2 breaths here, keeping that left elbow elevated as we take the torso forward. So as we discussed last week, all the crow pose variations require both flexibility and strength through the shoulders. So that's what we're getting at here, is a little bit of the flexibility piece. Start to lift up, release the hands first. You're going to walk the hands forward, tuck your toes, keep the thighs crossed as you lift up to a crisscrossed downward facing dog. And just enjoy this moment of a little bit of curiosity, a little bit of something different. And then you might look back at the feet. We're going to take the right foot and just move it to the middle of the mat. Inhale, float your left leg up towards the ceiling. Look forward, left thumb to right thumb, and then step it on through and find your lizard. Right knee down, untuck the right toes. Inhale fully, you could stay up, or in the spirit of that flying low, lower to the forearms. And then that left knee snuggling in towards the left shoulder. I'm still working to pull my heart forward, and for a moment I'm looking forward. That'll change in a moment, but right now I'm looking forward. And now I'm going to shift. I'm going to turn my gaze to that space between my forearms, tuck my right toes, lift my right knee, and I'm actually going to lift my pelvis, push down through my forearms, and round the upper back. 2 breaths here. 1 more. And then we'll take the Bakasana on the second side. So right knee down, take the left palm and right palm up on the mat. Right shin moves to the left. Left thigh over right. Sit back, Bakasana. And then we'll do our arms. Right arm up and back. Left arm internally rotates. Walk it up. Maybe the fingertips meet, maybe they don't. Maybe you use a resource of some kind like a belt or a strap. Inhale here. Exhale, dropping in. 3, 2, and then lifting up. Unraveling the arms, walk the hands forward. You'll be in that crisscross down dog as you tuck the toes, lift the pelvis. Take a moment there. And then we'll take that left foot to the middle of the mat, uncross the right foot. You're in a more traditional downward facing dog now. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Lower the knees for that half plank. We're going to take 3 chaturangas, remembering the direction here is forward and down. So we move slightly forward, and then halfway down we come into our chaturanga. Now push back up to the half plank. Do that twice more. Lower halfway down. Elbows are skimming the sides of the ribs. Energy forward and down. Push up. Last time, halfway down. Elbows skim the ribs. Now come all the way to the mat. Slide the forearms forward. Find your Sphinx pose. Inhale in the Sphinx. As you exhale, lift rib cage, pelvis, thighs, tuck the toes, lift the knees. And then walk your feet forward about 1 big foot's length. Let your pelvis lift a little bit, round the spine, but keep looking at the space in between your forearms. Contract the navel towards the spine. And try to maintain the breath here. No holding the breath. Then walk the feet back. Lower the knees, the thighs, the pelvis, and the belly. Inhale in that Sphinx. Exhale, slide the palms back. Shifting through all fours, listen carefully here. Round into your cat pose. Shift to child's pose. Lower your forearms. Scoop forward and up as if you were coming into cow, but then tuck your toes and lift up to dolphin. We'll take 5 breaths in that dolphin pose. And I want you to think of making the underside of the arms, the tricep region, the armpit, and this actually gets into your lats, which is the largest muscle on the back, as spacious as you can make that part of the body. And then we'll come out of this by looking forward, elevating up onto right palm and left palm. You're in a traditional down dog. And we're going to start a second sequence here. Looking forward, we'll step the right foot forward in between the thumbs. And we're going to start to introduce some twisting as we lay the framework for potentially coming into revolved crow pose next week. So straighten the right knee, long pyramid pose, left hand stays on the mat, just like we did in our warm-up. Sweep the right arm towards the ceiling and twist your torso to the right. So this is like a really long revolved triangle with the feet like a railroad tracks. Yes, that's it. 2 more breaths. And then keep the twist in the spine, but rotate your head back to the floor. Get your balance and bend your right knee deeply. Lift up through your right fingertips. Left arm is going to reach forward. Torso is still revolved to the right. And then bring the palms of the hands together. Look down at where your left elbow is in relationship to your right knee. We're going to try to hook the left elbow outside the right knee. Push that top right hand onto the left and revolve the torso around to the right. 2 breaths. And then keep the twist. Just turn your head to look down at the mat. Big transition here. Step your left foot forward to meet your right, sitting down in revolved chair. Boom. Sit. And then readdress the twist, making it as deep as possible. 2. 1. And then look down at the mat. Unravel the spine, forward fold, Uttanasana. You're going to get your first chance at a classic crow pose right now. So lifting your head, looking forward, plant the palms, rock up onto the balls of the feet, and from the top down, settle the legs on the back of the arms. Start to look forward. Remember, we go forward and down as we work to find our crow pose. And then we fly. 3, 2. Maybe shoot back to chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. And take 3 breaths in between sides. And just noticing your own progression from week 1 to now, of just being able to fit whatever version of the crow pose you just did right there in the middle of your practice. And then let's look forward. We'll do that sequence on the second side. Step your left foot in between the thumbs. Straighten that left knee fully. Dial the left hip back. Right fingertips stay on the floor as you turn the torso to the left. Left arm comes to the ceiling, revolving that really long triangle pose. Yeah. And particularly when we look at revolved Bakasana, we're asking a lot of that outer seam of the leg. So poses like Gomukhasana and revolved triangle, so good there. Look down, get your balance, deeply bend your left knee. Keep the twist, but lift up and reach the right arm forward, left arm back. Good. Now bring the palms together. You can check and see, okay, where's my right elbow in relationship to my left knee? And then I'm going to try to guide it and hook it over. And then once I get that hook, I can really push the left hand into the right to deepen that twist. 3, 2. Now you look down, big transition. Right foot is going to either take 1 big or 2 small steps forward, revolved chair. Boom. Sit down, twist. 2 breaths. Good. And then another shot at that classic crow pose. Look down, unravel the spine. Give yourself a breath or 2 in Uttanasana. Maybe you need to change your position on the mat. And then plant the palms and move into your crow pose. You've got about 4 breaths here. About 20 seconds of play. 3, 2, and maybe linking it to a vinyasa, and up, and down dog. And then looking at the middle of your mat, we're going to jump through to boat pose. So cross the ankles and jump through to our boat pose. I'm going to untie my knot because we're going to be on our backs in just a second. So we're going to take our inhale here. As we lower to our canoe, you're going to twist to the left. So you lower, but you twist a little bit. Then you come up, and then you go to the right. 2 more each side. Up and left, and up and right. 1 more, and left, and up, and right, and up, and down. Legs straight up towards the ceiling. You know what's coming at this point. We're going to do the revolved version of baby crow. So you're going to reach up with the arms, but instead of flexing just the hands back, now you're going to bend the elbows so the back of the forearms and the palms are looking up. Now bend your knees, heels to glutes, and tuck your knees to the backs of your backs of your triceps. And now, as you push up, it's not just the hands, the forearms and the palms lift up, and the knees are sliding towards the armpits. That's it. How much can you tuck the knees into your armpit? Lift your tailbone a little bit. 2. And then relax all that. Bring your arms overhead, legs up. Oh. Maybe just flex and point the feet a couple of times. And just like last week, we're going to take revolved crow here on the back. So bend the knees, arms up, swing the arms to the left, knees to the right. Flex the palms back. And then as you push the palms to your left, try to slide that left knee outside the right arm. Try to lift the left shoulder blade a little bit more. 2, 1. Release, arms overhead, legs up. Maybe flex and point. And then 1 more of these reclined crow poses. Bend the knees, arms up, palms flex back, knees to the left, arms to the right. Supta Parshva Bakasana, pushing those arms out to the right as the right knee slides up and in the outer left arm. 2. 1 more breath here. And then we'll take a vinyasa, rocking and rolling, planting the palms and stepping or flowing it out through your vinyasa. And then jumping to the middle of your mat. I have to retie my shirt. Playing with baby crow. So here's the thing about baby crow. It's a very small, compact pose. You have to be very comfortable with getting low to the ground, okay? So one of my favorite stories, teacher Catherine Budig talks about this is like when you give your puppy or your kitty cat their favorite food and they just like put their face in it. You have to get low enough to get into the doggy bowl to do this pose, okay? So you're gonna have your forearms on the floor. I'm gonna show it first and then you'll give it a try. Forearms first, down. I'm looking at that space between my forearms. My knees come to the back of my arms. I go forward and down, lift lift. Okay, so give it a whirl. Forearms down. You're gonna have to get super duper low. Knees come up into the armpits. Lean forward. You're gonna feel like your face is gonna touch, but it won't. You'll be a few inches away. And then try to lift a couple toes, or maybe one whole foot, or maybe the big toes come together and you hover. Yeah. And then you can come down, give yourself a breath or two, and then try it one more time. And you'll feel, I mean, sometimes I'll get like a Charlie horse cramp, like right there in my belly, because that's how much you contract to do this baby Bakasana. Forearms down, squeeze the legs, and find your hover. Beautiful. Let's lower the knees, lower the shins, come up, circle sweep those arms out and up. It's gonna feel good just to get long in the front body. We're gonna take our Ustrasana camel pose. You could have hands to low back, hands to the back of the thighs, or if it feels good, hands to heels. 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way up. We'll come to lie on our backs, spinal twist, just a little reset to the body here. Knees in, arms wide. Let the knees fall to the right, spinal twist. And then other direction, knees left, maybe looking right. Twist. And then about 90 seconds in Shavasana. I'm going to sit up just to guide that, but you can stay lying down. Allowing the body to settle into stillness and the breath to become a bit more easeful. And just acknowledging that sometimes we have to approach difficult things from a variety of different points of view in order to figure out what's truly possible or where our work is. And so just really acknowledging the good work of curiosity that you engaged with today. And then allow the next breath or two to become a bit more vibrant and energetic until eventually you welcome in some movement that in your own way and time guides you back up to a comfortable seat. And as you find your seat in these just last 30 seconds or so of practice, acknowledging that even if the peak pose today of baby Bakasana wasn't one that you loved, or maybe it wasn't one you found accessible, maybe there were other aspects of today's practice that you found informative or something you might want to welcome into your practice. And just recognizing that there's value beyond what may be identified as the peak pose or the culminating moment of something. And then we'll close this practice with either the hands to the body, a gesture of gratitude, or the hands coming together palm to palm. And closing with the vibration of peace, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Jai Shri Sakaru Maharaj Ki.